something in a week that's actually worth your while. So thank you, sponsors. Let's get a round of applause. So, we wanted to skip past the research, the insights, the strategy. We're going right to tactics. That's what we've learned here. Malik's Kitchen, welcome. So with that being said, Malik is the man of the hour. 11 great seasons under his hair. And, you know, Malik, he has an open door policy. You can walk into his office and experience his wisdom at any time. You might have to wait for a handful of, say, top ad people in there to leave, and that happened yesterday, so that's why it's a fresh joke. Or, you know, he's always willing to give you open and honest feedback. Jake, you do not know a single thing about marketing. Jake, you are about to disgrace this program with your solution. He doesn't hold back, and that's why we love him. And if you can't take the heat out of the kitchen, if you can't take a selfie, Malik will hook you up.
Okay, so we're going to go some of the rules of the kitchen. So this is kind of what we learned as apprentices and trends we kind of found throughout being involved in MARS Apprentice. So the first one is that nap time is anytime. So as you can see, we have a collage here of various people sleeping in various locations at various times. Kind of whatever fits is where someone will take a nap. The second trend we have is that convenience is key. You know, as soon as you leave your workspace, your team starts a timer, and you have a certain amount of time to get back to your team, and when you get back, you either better have made progress or have a funny joke to divert them from the fact that you were gone. As well, we had a lot of pizza. You find that you have very limited food options when you're working at 3 and 4 in the morning. And lastly, we are ruled by secrecy. So you're working really closely with other teams who might be down the hall. And what do you do when you come across someone from the other team in the hallway? Oh, how's the case going? Do I say good? Do I say bad? Like, act confident. No, it's going good. They're like, oh, yeah, we're doing well too.
So, the co-chairs, they're the eyes and ears of Malik in this whole program. You know, they put in a lot of work, and they really don't get the credit that they deserve. They put in as much work as us. When it's 4 a.m., they're still there with us. So, our beautiful co-chairs, Mo and Evan, they're a nice, classic good cop, bad cop. Obviously, Evan's the good cop. So, when it was chosen that we were going to do the roast, obviously, with Mo's insecurities, he was saying, "What are you roasting on me, Jake? What are you doing? You have to tell me. Jake, if you don't tell me, you're not getting a job. I am holding your career right here." Classic Mo, right? But I found out that roasting him actually wasn't as much fun as not telling him what his roast was going to be. But eventually, sometime about last night, he wore down on us, and we told him what the roast was. He obviously wasn't satisfied, so he proceeded to write his own roast. But we're not going to do that. We're not going to present his roast. So, Mo, wherever you are, boom, roasted. And Evan, he's too nice. He's a genuine guy, not going to roast him. So let's move on. Oh, wait.
What?
Sydney?
When did she join?
Oh, Sydney, I forgot about her. She's like the self-appointed COO, right?
Yes, the destroyer.
The destroyer, that's right, because she can like kill any task that's given to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's safe with Evan.
Okay, so now we're going to look into the making of the teams. So we had the privilege of completing the Insights personality test. So, like Kara was talking about, you can be an analytical blue, you can be a dominant red, a caring green, or a sunshine yellow. So let's look at the composition of Team Veritas. Beautiful. Perfectly spread out. We all got along. All sunshine and rainbows. Now let's take a look at Team Zenith. Oh. A pepperoni pizza in the red category. We don't know how the co-chairs came up with this, but let's move on to the apprentices.
They just wanted to see us explode or implode, one of the two.
Yeah.
So the apprentices. Starter off, Sarah. So this isn't just a terrible design. This is actually not her dominant color. This is her only color. So she was actually the only person that had a living chance of being on Team Zenith. But she actually had enough red to make up Team Zenith. So the co-chairs kind of rationalized that one out and put her on Veritas. So, you know, she has a cute smile when you see her on stage. You think she's kind of shy, but you know, with all that red, you need to let out some steam sometimes. Poor Mike, he couldn't hit back.
Okay, so let's move on to Joey. So we all knew that Joey was the outsider coming in, you know? Everybody could see it. He didn't really belong with the kids, and some say he still does it. But through a little bit of work with Team Zenith, he always thought he knew what he was talking about, but he was still patient, and he put up his hand when he wanted to talk, and he contained his ego. But more time with Team Zenith, and he became a proper gentleman and absolutely capable of taking extremely cheesy and staged photos.
So Mike Zamboni, he is worthy of the last name on this slide. I think it goes to his head sometimes, though. Did you know that the Zamboni is actually a new competitor with Chevrolet and their new tracks? Did you know that?
No.
It's not true, actually. This is just Mike riding his classic Zamboni to prom. And instead of taking his date with him, he decided to bring his boys along. His date's following along in her heels somewhere back there. But after talking to Riley, we had to collaborate a little bit, share some stories in order for me to roast Veritas. And we found out that Mike's actually really fidgety, apparently. So, he's always constantly juggling, and sometimes it's successful. I didn't want to put that on here, can't give him that glory. But sometimes it's unsuccessful, and when you hear a marker drop so many times, you get mad. So then you tell him, Mike, you need to calm down. And when that happens, he uses the marker. He walks around, he writes his beloved signature down, erases it, 5 minutes later comes back, he writes another one. And do you remember that video with Sarah? Oh yeah. It'll be worth something one day. Unfortunately, Zamboni doesn't mean Beyonce, though.
Okay, so now moving on to Vanessa. So Vanessa, for this part, we're going to lay out what we've done so far. We'll give you a chance to ask some questions, and we'll also be on a time budget. So if you flip the slide, here's the slide, sort of what we've done so far. Do you have any questions? You want to take some notes? Okay, well, we're actually a little bit behind on this part of the presentation, so we're going to put a hard stop here and move on to the next person. So, Yudi, what did you think of the case last week?
Well, I'll tell you, Riley. I want to tell you a story. Starting on the football field, you have your goalie, you have your outfield, you have your striker, and you have to get the ball from point A to point B. And you know that you have to persevere, and you have to get there. Now at this time, I've told you my answer in an epic accent, and it's using metaphor. Therefore, it is completely irrefutable.
Okay, so next we have Carmen. Did you know Carmen played junior hockey?
What?
Yeah, apparently. Carmen was the manliest man on Team Zenith, He enjoyed hunting, fishing, sports, things like that. And, fun fact, he even auditioned for Magic Mike and came to Channing Tatum. Oh, by the way, he played junior hockey. But, despite all of that, he became the biggest baby on the team and was the team's 5-year-old.
Alright, so Anton. Before we talk about Anton, backstory, whenever things are going bad in the Veritas realm, what they would do is Anton would stand up and say, I'm going to put on my facility. Actually, let me do another impression because you guys love it. Alright guys, so we're having some great energy here. It's really awesome. Really awesome. We're having a lot of fun here, so I just want to focus that energy right now. I'm going to put on my facilitator hat, and I'm going to get Scott to speak first, and then Riley, okay? And even though this is distorted, you can still see he uses that signature move on the hair all the time. It's not just in the intro video. But facilitator hat, good hair, how does that work out? Well, I guess sometimes it doesn't. But I can't get too hard on him because he might bring his AK-47 when we go out for a casual paintball round.
Okay, next we have Harrison. So, everybody knows that Harrison loves the sound of his own voice. Harrison also loves a good idea. So when Harrison has an idea, his eyes light up, his mouth opens, and you know you're about to be interrupted because he has a kick-ass idea coming. And when he gets that idea, he jumps up with excitement. But the only thing that excites Harrison more than a good idea is a bit of gossip. For somebody that says the word honestly so much, you would never think that he would lie to you. So that's why Harrison is the MARS Apprentice gossip guru.
Scott. Did you know that he promotes bands?
Promo bands?
He promotes bands, right?
I think they're bracelets.
Oh, promo bands. Oh, that's the name of his company. Okay. So, picture the perfect company. What does that company look like? What are their ideals? What do they stand for? Do they have an ultimate solution for you? Right here, this company, perfect. They're standing on a bobcat. You know they're legit and they're ready to provide you the ultimate solution. And if you want to invest today, this is roughly our net earnings this year. If you invest, you can be a part of this. Just think, it all, oh, sorry, this is his beautiful website. Gotta give him credit, it is very beautiful. But just think, it all started here. Tie's a little low there, Scott, come on. Pick that up, man. But you know, there's no such thing as sizes and ties. There's kids' ties, you know, older adult ties. So you'll grow out of it, right? What the heck? That was a couple weeks ago. More recent? I guess habits die hard. So many pictures for that one.
Okay, so next we have Vince. Vince was the Mars Apprentice that had the least sleep, but had the most enthusiasm. He had about 3 hours of sleep a night, 5 energy drinks during the day, but he brought his A game every single day. If you look closely, he's actually asleep in this picture. But he's still smiling because he's so enthusiastic even when he's sleeping. He was so energetic as his week for PM. Let's take a look what happened when he was PM.
He wants it bad. Oh! And I just want to play this back actually. I know this is Vince's time, but let's watch this again, and this time focus on Vanessa. Uh-oh, double rose. Watch the look. Oh! Don't lie. So?
Sorry, now we have some alumni awards. So we want to recognize a couple people that aren't apprentices, but have helped us out throughout the season. The first award we have is the fastest hands to pocket reward. What's that?
Well, I'll demonstrate. So picture you're in the Team Zenith after boardroom, and we're, you know, talking things out, what happened at the boardroom, what went wrong, and you know, we're getting carried away, not really answering questions, just kind of getting off topic like we do. So I'll demonstrate. So essentially, this is the James Hutton. He gets the first award for the fastest hand-to-pocket ratio. We would be going nuts, just totally off topic, and then we'd hear a clap and we'd look around and be like, where did that come from? Because his hands were already back in his pockets. So congrats, James. First award.
The next award we have is the Most Confused Face Award. What did that look like? Ryan Martin.
Just a little backstory on that one. It could be like the most clear part of a presentation on a winning presentation, and if you look at Ryan Martin, he has the most confused look no matter what. So we would actually look at him for clarity, and apparently that was a bad idea.
The next award is the Most Seemingly Distracted Award.
So for this one, you'd be asking this guy, you know, so what do you think about our presentation? He's going, yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah, I think you guys did a pretty good job, and you know, we'll talk about it after. You know.
Who is this? Zach Strong!
And background story on that even, he actually got a shout out last year in the roast from Barbara for constantly being on Angry Birds when you were trying to pitch him your insights, your strategy. So it's, you know, habits die hard. So, how far have we come? 17 egos shattered at this point. And you know, Riley, it's actually great having to do this because we don't get roasted ourselves.
Exactly. I was so happy when Jake asked me to join the roast, you know. Come up stage with me, like we'll diss everybody else, like we won't get dissed, it'll be so great. Because throughout MARS we learn that we have to take feedback, we have to learn from it. But when you're a roaster, you don't have to get feedback thrown back at you, you can just dish it out to everybody else.
+1. So, I just want to remind everyone, yes, I'm the only one that didn't get roasted. And I put in days of work solely for that reason. And I want to remind everyone as well that we have immunity up here. So no garbage thrown at us after this. You still love us all the same. It's all fun and jokes. So with that, we'd like to conclude. And we really appreciate all your time and laughter. I hope we did bring some laughter. And no hard feelings.
All the apprentices up to the stage. So throughout